Yo, what is up YouTube? Today we are going to be talking about the top 5 NBA rookies so far for the 2019-2020 NBA season. If you enjoy this kind of quality NBA content, make sure to subscribe.
Trying to trap. Harris breaks away. Missed the dunk. Rebound. Simmons backs it out to Embiid. The Heat are going to have to foul. Down by 2. Oh, Butler knocked it away. Here's Hero with 8 seconds left for 3. Oh my!
Ridiculous, Eric. What a defensive effort. Instead of fouling, they're disciplined enough to form a trap. Watch Jimmy Butler aggressive here with his hands under reach right here. Pokes the ball out. That gives the Heat the opportunity. And then just the confidence of the young man. He had the opening. I can make buckets. I can make buckets.
First, we're going to start off with an honorable mention, Tyler Hero. So Tyler Hero is having a pretty good year with the Heat. He almost made my top 5 rookies list. The reason he didn't make it, despite having such a good year statistically, is because he's on a team where he's not asked to do as much as other rookies. And it's also because Kendrick Nunn is on his team, another rookie who's having a great year. Stats-wise, he's averaging 13 points per game, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, and he's shooting 42% from the field and 38% from 3. So at number 5, we have Roy Hachimura. Roy is a power forward from Gonzaga. He was taken 9th overall in the 2019 NBA draft by the Washington Wizards. He's averaging 14 points per game, 2 assists, 6 rebounds, and he's shooting 48% from the field and 21% from 3. He looked pretty good in the early parts of this season. Also, he has a pretty good mid-range stroke that hits at a high clip, and he's shown an ability to score the ball pretty consistently. He is lacking defensively though. He has the body to be a good defender, but it's something he should work on to get better in the future. Unfortunately, he's been out for quite a bit because of a groin injury. The Wizards are currently the 12th seed. They have 11 wins and 24 losses. They're only 4.5 games back from the 8th seed though. I think the Wizards are actually doing better than most would have expected, especially with John Wall being out. This is mainly because Bradley Beal is having a pretty good year, but that's not the only reason. They also have a lot of promising young guys giving good production, and Isaiah Thomas is having a bounce back year. Comparing him to Colin Sexton, who finished 5th place in the Rookie of the Year race last year, Colin's stats were 17 points per game, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. He shot 43% from the field and 40% from 3. Last year's Cavs were 19 and 63, and they finished as a 4th seed. Around the start of January, though, they were 8 and 29 in the 15th seed. It's hard to compare these two players because they don't play the same position, but Colin Sexton's production was a little higher. However, he was in a situation where the Cavs needed him to have a higher production, while the Wizards rely more on Bradley Beal and other scorers than they do on Roy.
Can they get a stop and a chance to tie it up before the break? Bowman wants the answer, and he's got it. Wow. First made field goal for Kai Bowman. They trap Levine. He rises for 3 more, not this time.
Well, you say that time they doubled him. As soon as he came past half court, made him take a tough shot.
Did get the 2-for-1 opportunity out of it. Draymond settles his Warriors into half court.
At number 4, I have Eric Paschall. Eric is a power forward from Villanova. He was taken 41st overall in the 2019 NBA draft by the Warriors. He's averaging 14 points per game, 2 assists, 4.5 rebounds, and he's shooting 49% from the field and 30% from 3. He's a bit of a streaky 3-point shooter, but overall he shoots pretty well from the floor. He's just a really big, strong player, one of those go-get-a-bucket type guys who can get to the line easily. He can also shoot the free throw pretty well, but he is prone to drawing offensive fouls due to being aggressive and especially with his strength. He has a nice spot-up mid-range shot that he hits at a pretty high clip. Throughout the season so far, he's been dealing with minor injuries and has dropped his production a little from when he was looking like the rookie of the year at one point. The Warriors are the 15th seed and they're 9-26. They are 7.5 games back from the 8th seed. Warriors aren't playing horrible, but they've been losing a lot of close games and dealing with a lot of injuries. At one point, Eric was the leader for the Warriors, but once D'Angelo came back, he kind of slowed down offensively. And since coming back from a few minor hip injuries, he's been in and out of the lineup. Comparing him to Marvin Bagley, who finished 4th in the Rookie of the Year race last year, Marvin averaged 15 points per game, 1 assist, 8 rebounds, 50% from the field, and 31% from 3. The Kings last year finished 39-43 as the 9th seed. Around January, they were 19-18 in the 9th seed. Eric has been pretty on par with Bagley in terms of production, but as a power forward, Paschall should look to rebound more.
Attacking the rim, Knicks go up by 5.
Ambidextrous Ren using the right hand that time.
Randall with 4, Morris with 4. Knicks have missed just one of their first 7 attempts. Jeremy Lamb putting on the moves. The jumper off the mark, and Barrett and the Knicks looking to run again. The rookie accelerates to the basket, and the slam from R.J. Barrett. And look at the Knicks bench after the coaching change.
That shows you how lackadaisical the Pacers defense has been. Barrett able to go 90 feet without being contested, and that's why the Pacers won the top.
6-0 run for Barrett and the Knickerbockers.
In third place, I have RJ Barrett. RJ is a small forward from Duke, taken 3rd overall in the 2019 NBA draft by the New York Knicks. He's averaging 14 points per game, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, and he's shooting 39% from the field and 32% from 3. Overall, he's not shooting that well, and his 3 is below league average, but both of them are not too bad and can be improved on. RJ's looked fairly solid this season, even though he started off pretty rocky. His rebounding numbers are actually down from what most people would thought they would be, as he averaged 8 rebounds per game in college. But the Knicks do have an abundance of power forwards, so that could explain why. His assists are also kind of lacking, as many would have liked to see him develop into a point forward. The Knicks are the 14th seed, and they're 9-24. They're only 5 games back from the 8th seed. The Knicks as a team aren't doing that well. Their record is the same as the Warriors. They're both tied for the 2nd least amount of wins in the season. Marcus Morris and Julius Randle are handling most of the scoring load at 18 points per game each. RJ is giving pretty solid production, but he's clearly not the leader on the team. Comparing him to DeAndre Ayton, who finished in 3rd place last year in the Rookie of the Year race, DeAndre averaged 16 points per game, 2 assists, 10 rebounds, and he shot 59% from the field. Last year's Suns finished 19-63 as the 15th seed, and around January, they're 9-30 in the 15th seed. Both of them do play different positions, but I think Barrett can give somewhat of the same amount of production as Ayton did in terms of rebounds, and hopefully he gets his field goal percentage up there in the 40s.
Just a tremendous job by Danny, who is an excellent individual defender, to be one of the Lakers running back in a dead sprint. You mentioned it. They had a 4-on-1 advantage, but watch him come out of the left-hand side of your picture and get a piece of that.
Los Angeles Lakers, the 4th-rated team defensively in the league.
Nunn! Oh, say it with your chest! Second to none!
Are you kidding me?
And LeBron James with the miss, Davis with the follow. Kendrick Nunn with that detonation a moment ago.
At number 2, I have Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick was actually a 2018 undrafted rookie shooting guard from the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. He spent the whole year in the Warriors G League and signed with Miami this offseason, which is why he is considered a rookie, as he hasn't played a game in the NBA yet. He's averaging 16 points per game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and he's shooting 45% from the field and 35% from 3. He's actually really close to being my top spot, but number 1 just kind of edges him out a little bit more. He's shooting pretty well from the field and decent from 3. He's not much of a playmaker in the sense that he can create for others, but this is mostly because he is a shooting guard. The Heat are the 3 seed with a record of 24-9, and they're only 5 games back from the 1st seed. The Heat are having a great year, but clearly Kendrick Nunn isn't the leader of the team. He's a great contributor, but definitely not on the level of Jimmy Butler. The Heat also have an abundance of really good young players that are contributing quite a bit, which is leading to their success so far. And this has come as a great surprise for the Heat. In comparison to Trae Young, who finished second place last year in the Rookie of the Year race, Trae averaged 19 points per game, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and he shot 42% from the field and 32% from 3. Last year's Hawks finished 29 and 53 as the 12th seed, and around January they were 11 and 26 as the 12th seed. Trae is obviously a better playmaker than Kendrick Nunn, but this is because Trae Young is a point guard.
Teams have their starting fives on the floor. Bogdanovich with 30 for the 4th time this season. As high as 33 against Milwaukee. Morant down the lane and powers it in. Gobert did not challenge. And it's a 3-point game.
He realized if I'm going to be late and there's no need in going, Morant, quick hop to finish.
First meeting between these two teams, a 1-point Grizzlies win. Bogdanovich an open 3.
At number 1, I have Ja Morant. Ja is a point guard from Murray State, taken 2nd overall in the 2019 NBA draft by the Memphis Grizzlies. He's averaging 17 points per game, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, and he's shooting 47% from the field and 40% from 3. So far, he looks like the clear-cut winner for Rookie of the Year. He's shooting really well and he's showing great scoring and playmaking abilities. The Grizzlies are the 11th seed with a 13-21 record. They're only 2 games back from the 8th seed. Clearly, he's the leader on the Grizzlies, and him and Jaren Jackson are looking like a future dynamic duo that could definitely lead the Grizzlies to a championship. They have a pretty fair possibility of making the playoffs as the 7th or 8th seed. Ja is showing that what he did in college, he can definitely do in the pros as well. Comparing him to Luka Doncic, who won Rookie of the Year last year, Luka is averaging 21 points per game, 6 assists per game, 9 rebounds per game, and he's shooting 43% from the field and 33% from 3. Last year's Mavs finished with a record of 33 and 49 as the 14th seed. Around January, they were 18 and 19 as the 10th seed. Obviously, Luka is a future superstar in the league since it's only his 2nd year and he's already in MVP talks. I think Ja is on pace to have the same impact though. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already. Comment down below if you agree or disagree with my list or even have a list of your own. And peace.